Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator, and welcome back to Roscoff, France. We're in the DAF. I did go ahead and tweak the skin, and I think this is about as close as I'm going to be able to get it. While I was tweaking the skin, I went ahead and blacked out the side skirts and then went into the shop just now. We did a little bit of repairs, about €1,000 worth of repairs, just road wear and tear. But while I was in there, I went ahead and blacked out the wheels as well. So we get a little bit more of that tough truck look, because we're kind of fancy up front. It's a bit of a fancy truck in a good way, but I didn't want to be fancy all around. I try to balance it out a little bit. So let's get her started. And the reason, if you're wondering, and this is something it's on me, the reason we're always in reverse when I start the truck is the key combo that I use to open and close the shadow play menu. One of those keys also puts me in reverse. Right. Let's take a look at the freight market. When I was in here a minute ago, I only saw one thing that I think is going to work for us. And that is La Rochelle. There's really nothing else. Calais is the wrong direction. That's the wrong direction. Wrong direction. Wrong. Wrong. So we can either deadhead to Brest. Yeah, in fact, let's do that. I hadn't even thought of that. Let's deadhead over here. Let's deadhead over here. Discover this town. 80 kilometers. That'll take us just a few minutes to get there. And it will also be closer to daylight. So, how are we? I think I have, well, spoke too soon. I think I have face tracking fairly well dialed, and that was adjusting a lot of levels. And what are we doing on fuel too? Good on fuel. Adjusting a lot of levels and also the lighting. The lighting in the room is, I found really important. I found that via forum, and then I found that via testing. There needs to be plenty of contrast on your face. I'm using a no hardware system. And there needs to be plenty of contrast on your face. And apparently I didn't have enough. And then, smart guy, I ended up putting a light behind me. Didn't mean to. Well, I mean, I meant to. Like, it wasn't an accidental light. But I didn't know how bad that was for face tracking. For no hardware face tracking. You can't have a light behind you. It puts your face in shadow. That's no good. But living and learning. Like always. So as we're driving over, I can tell you I tested Project Japan. That seemed interesting. It's a Japanese map, standalone map. It's beta. That's the nicest thing I could say about it. It is beta. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think it's got great potential, but I wasn't able to get it working. I started a new profile, no mods, just the map and its assets, and was never able to get it started. So, not a big deal. And the idea of building a map is so intimidating. Early with that turn signal. The idea of building a map is so intimidating. I mean, I've made skins and done that sort of thing. I've done a little bit of 3D modeling in Blender. A little bit of stuff for Farm Sim. But the idea of building an entire map, and I ain't no quitter, but I've started a couple maps for Farm Sim, and the reason I let them go is I just don't have the time. Because to make a map, you know, you hear these people say, oh, it took me a year to make this farm simulator map. And that's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours every evening for a year. Let's call it 1,000 hours. And between trying to make a living and gaming, I don't have 3 hours a day to work on a map. And it's also, I try to be a, you know, I try to play the long game. I try to see the big picture. But map making is, you can spend an entire evening just, I don't know, adjusting the decorative flowers, not decorative like azaleas, but just the weeds and nettles around a piece of fence. Not a whole fence, not a whole anything, just a little, you know, say a 100-foot section of fence, or putting in some detail like a trash bin or bags of rubbish or whatever. All the little detail that makes a map happen. You can spend an entire evening just working on, say, like 1/2 of a driveway. And then the next day you do the other half of the driveway. And then the day after that you move one house down the street and work on the next one, and so forth and so forth. And that's why these maps take as long as they do. And I don't have that kind of time, and I don't have the mentality to do that. I have tremendous respect for the people that do, but I can't work that slowly. I can work on things for a long time, but I need to be seeing more progress, I guess. So, yeah, that's not for me. I wish it was, but that's not for me. So, when I say Project Japan is not ready, I'm not in any way disparaging the developers. That is a massive undertaking, and kudos to them. And I'm really looking forward to it when it's done. I have a kind of an affinity, particularly for Japanese architecture, a little bit for the culture. I know, I've spent some time in Japan, and I know there's a big difference between what Japanese culture actually is and how it's portrayed in American movies. So it's not all as wonderful and noble as it's presented. But that's true of any culture. I'm not putting Japan down. I think every culture is that same way. It puts its best face forward, or other people tend to reflect its best characteristics. But there are always, for every this, there's a that. Is that yeah, that's fantastic grammar. You know what I mean. Alright, what's this guy doing? Come on, buddy. About to. I've never really gotten a definitive answer on whether the horn works or not. Well, I mean, I know the horn works, but I don't know if it does anything. It's like the beacons in ETS. I've heard some people say that when you have your beacons and flashers on, traffic will respond to you differently. Apparently I'm not the only one with traffic circle etiquette problems. Right now, at this point, I'm just looking for a place to get pulled over. Right here. Get off the road so I can look at the dispatch. Easy Pete's. Right. To the dispatch. There's nothing here and we have to go back to Roscoff. I might just scrap this video and go back to bed. Oh, there's a lot more going on here. Okay. Let me see. Bourdeaux. That's a possibility. Nope. Also Bourdeaux. Paris, wrong direction. Nothing going all the way to Bilbao. All right, let's take a look at these two Bourdeaux. I know this trailer is going to have a lot of choices. And where's the other one? And I know this one probably will not. Doesn't pay as well. This one pays another 4,000 a year. Let's do it. Let's take it. And the thing I always forget to do, make sure we have enough time to get there. Where is it? 2 hours and 18 minutes. Okay, if it's in town, we should be able to get there fairly quickly. 32 kilometers. Okay. About a half an hour to get there. So, break off. Turn around here. I get quiet for those little moves because I'm really concentrating. I'm also, I think we're going to go ahead and keep this reshade, at least for the moment. I think it's working. And once I get settled here, we'll do a before and after. Actually, you know what? Let's do one right now. This time of day. So early morning in the rain. Here's our before and after. This is how we were running. And this is with reshade. Before, after. I think with reshade it might be a touch less realistic, but I like it, and I think it's got a little bit more character to it, like a little bit more flavor. Yeah, a little bit more drama. I don't know how I want to, like, what word I'm looking for, but you feel me. It just looks a little more, I don't know, something. A lot of deadheading this episode. This better be good when we get rolling here. So I did an American Truck Sim video yesterday, which I haven't done for a while. New patch came out, and a couple of new things in it. The one thing that I really wanted to see that we didn't get to see in the episode was dynamic hose. I could see when we left the place where I slept, kind of the start point, I could see the hoses bouncing around, which is new. They used to be static. But then the trailer we picked up, as few mods as I have running in that game, the trailer we picked up, of course, was a mod trailer and had not been Yeah, the patch has only been out for a couple days, so the modder, I guess, hasn't had an opportunity to get to it yet and add the nodes for the dynamic hose to connect to, so it didn't. I saw them jump a little bit. I saw them kind of bounce like they wanted to connect, but then they didn't have anything to connect to. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world. Just another one of those things. It just never stops with these sims, and I say this all the time. That's part of the appeal for me, I think, is there's always something to be messing with. It's never done. It's never quite good enough. There's always something new. Trying to look and drive here. There's always something new. So for this episode, tweaked my face tracking, adjusted the skin, confirmed that reshade was still working. Earlier this morning, I tested Project Japan. That's not ready yet. What else? And then from here, I'll go to Farm Sim and kind of do the same thing. And it's just non-stop. Right. So I'm going to go third person for a second. No, it's not third person. Other button. That one. That one. Right, so looking down there, if we go with a tandem trailer, it's going to be... Alright. I ain't scared. Just know that if we go with the tandem, it's going to push us out by the fence. Right. Now, one thing that I've noticed is, at the moment at least, we don't have our skin in... We have it in the Akari single, but we don't have it in the Akari tandem. So there's one. There's a 3-axle. I don't know. We've hauled a bunch of branded trailers lately, and we haven't hauled a tandem. So let's see if we... I don't think there's going to be a branded tandem. But there ought to be a tandem in here somewhere. These are the NTM, yeah. You know what's amazing is this is really more or less just one trailer pack. Don't crash. There we go. Yep. Okay. So we'll take the VAK slider in white. And yep. To be expected. I'll try to do this in cab. No promises. I feel like I need to make amends. Hey, you know what? This might take me a couple tries, but my brakes. This might take me a couple tries. Nope. All right. Exciting, huh? Very. Right. With this rain. Huh. Okay. I don't know where you're at with that. I don't know how you feel about me torturing myself to get that in there in cab. It's not the end of the world. It takes a minute. It's quiet and it's weird because it's just watching somebody try to hook up to a trailer. So I don't know how you feel about that. But I feel like, for me personally, I want to do it in cab. I feel like you want to see it in cab. And I know yesterday, with the face tracking and ATS and everything else, I wasn't in cab. I hopped out a couple of times. Last ETS and last ATS, I hopped out a couple times. And I know I feel like that's not our deal. So, I mean, ideally, I could just get it in there in one swing. Ideally. A lot of things happen ideally. This world ain't always ideal. So, you get what I'm saying? I mean, I'll stick it out and I'll make it happen in cab, but it may take a couple of tries. And I don't know how you feel about, like, recharging the brakes. You know, we started to get low on air when we were dilly-dallying around there. So, hang on, right, that one. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, I like seeing immersion in videos. I don't know how you feel about it. So this ought to get us, I mean, the sun's coming up now. So I feel like if we had slept, we would have woken up about noon. And then with all this, moment please, I'm gonna mute you, I got a cough. Be right back. Wow, that was exciting. I think I've done several things. I hit the wrong button twice. There we go. Came out of surround sound in my headset. I think the mute button is off now. I don't know if it is or not. I've got a little red light on my microphone that I can barely see out of the corner of my eye when I'm muted. Pretty sure it's off. I don't know. I might just be talking to myself. I mean, either way, I'm talking to myself. There's just nobody here. But you know what I mean. Right. So had we slept, we would have started at noon, and we'd probably be getting on the road about 2 or 3. And I don't know if that would have given us enough time to get there. Probably not. either way, we were going to drive at night early, drive at night late, or sleep. Drop the lift axle. Here we go. Alright, that only took, what, 20 minutes? Are you not entertained? It's getting hooked up to trailers, getting trailers backed in, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I know there's some YouTubers that are just absolute Jedi when it comes to doing that stuff, and obviously that's what I aspire to. I'd like to be that good. I feel like, I have my moments. Backing up, getting hooked up. It wasn't dark. It wasn't dark. It was a little dark. A little dark with rain on the mirrors. And I mean, you saw how we just did it. I mean, it's not impossible. It's not the hardest thing ever, but degree of difficulty is definitely not 0. So, a couple swings, and get it in there. I feel all right about that. I would love to do it in one swing, and that is my goal, but I hope I'm not at the other end of the spectrum where I'm just flailing at it for 20 minutes. So yeah, we'll stay in cab as much as possible, even when it's kind of boring. Roundabout coming up, I can see it. I say roundabout, you say traffic circle. Potato, potato. I have a feeling this is all going to be fairly tight all the way down to Bourdeaux. I'll be amazed if we pull it off with no damage, because I'm just feeling like it's going to get tighter and tighter. And we'll go to Bilbao. One way or another, we'll go to Bilbao. And when you see it, it is so next level. Okay, pleased with the face tracking at the moment, and that's always a weird place for me to be because I don't know if I should leave it or continue moving the curves in the direction that I was moving them in and see if I can get it even better. We'll see. If we're going up a bit of a hill here, or if we've got, well, if we're going up a bit of a hill here, or if we've got some decent weight on the back. I didn't even look, as always. I just found something going my way and went with it. Eddie Stobart. The Jazzy Cat packs, for me anyway, they completely changed this game. And until you run them, the Jazzy Cat packs, you can't, or you can't. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. For me, anyway, until I ran them, I didn't notice how often I was seeing the same fake companies over and over, the SCS base game companies. And there are enough of them, and then there are different kinds of trailers, and they try to mix it up and scatter them around a little bit. But whether you notice it or not, you're just seeing the same trailers over and over. When you get the Jazzy Cat packs with, what's he having there, like 600 companies, it changes everything. The whole look and feel of the game is different. Alright, so we're out of the rain. And we've got about, in real time, we've got about 20 minutes to go. Wait till the sun is up proper and we'll do another before and after comparison of Reshade. And yeah, man, just driving the truck. I'm still sorting all this out through the whole YouTube thing. Easy. Stay in your lane, son. Still sorting it all out, and I don't know. Probably a good idea to not overthink it. I love gaming, and for a long time I've wanted to record games, so I just started doing it, and this is the result. And we'll see what happens. But I'm digging it so far. Yeah, I think I just go straight here. I can't always tell from the GPS. Wait, what? How am I sleepy already? Oh, this is... Hang on. Oh, no. Uh-huh. Oh, cruel fate. Okay, so turns out Reshade turns my little sleepy time icon kind of gray instead of blue. So turns out we do need to sleep. So all right. Well, anyway, we'll drive till we have to sleep, then we'll sleep, then we'll get up and we'll finish the delivery in the dark. Hopefully there won't be a ton of dark, because what time is it now? It's 9 o'clock. If we yeah, we're essentially going to sleep during all the daylight and then drop off in the dark. Fantastic. Hey, you ever have one of those days where you do exactly the opposite of what you wanted to do? This be that. So it goes. I'll know for next time. I also feel like, I'll check it when we pull into sleep. I feel like some of these trailers, the weight of the cargo changes depending on what type of trailer you pick. And when you go with the tandem, I feel like the weight always goes up. We should be okay. We're 480 horsepower, I think. 464? Nice confident answer. This sleep thing is... wow. And I made such a point of looking, but I didn't look at the time, I only looked at the icon. And sure enough. Okay. I'll be happy to get through this Lane closure with no damage. Fantastic. Cool. Okay, let's find a place to sleep. What else can we do? I'm trying to do the math in my head, and I don't want to... I know we're going to be sleeping in a minute, so I'll start hitting buttons then, but for the moment, let me just do some quick math in my head. We sleep for what, 8 hours or 10 hours? I always forget. Let's say 10. If we pull in at 10 and sleep for 10 hours, then we'll wake up at 2000, dark. If we sleep for 8 hours, we'll wake up at 6 p.m. Still some daylight left. There's only 6 hours left on the job, so if we go another hour, hour and a half, 5 hours, no, there's no avoiding it. We're going to be driving in the dark again. Well, we're not driving in the dark right now, so what else can you do? Beautiful. Let's do a little color comparison. So that's the old way, the old look, and that's the new one. Yeah, I like it. We're keeping it. Get off here and sleep. I'm thinking that's probably best. I can't even see. Well, it's too late now. No. What is this place? What kind of madness? Is this just a big travel plaza? The hell? I can see where I want to be. Okay. So not there, but here? Truck parking. Okay. Sometimes it lets me have it when I'm in one of these long rigs. Other times it does not. This time it says yes. Right. So let us immediately go to sleep. Before we go to sleep, let's... That's only 18 tons. All right, and we have 21 hours to get there, so we should be fine. Back to sleep. Parking lights on. Truck off. Sleep. Yeah, fantastic. There's still some daylight. Okay. Now, how to get out of here. Maybe we don't need those quite yet. Maybe. I'm guessing this has to be ProMods. we go. Right, so what else is going on? I'm going to be testing a Assetto Corsa later today. I need to finish this one. Then I'm going to do Farming Simulator 2017. And then I'm going to test a Assetto Corsa. Let's see how that works. I found a ton of old tracks that I really... I'm a fan of vintage racing. Big fan of vintage racing. Not when they race old cars now, but I like the way Formula One used to be, and sports cars back in the day, from the I guess about the 1930s to the 1960s, kind of my era. So I found some cool vintage tracks, historical tracks that are gone now, that aren't included with the Assetto Corsa base game. And got those going, so I'm going to test those, and I think that's about it. I'd like to get into a schedule of maybe 2 videos per day, and I think it's just going to be a question of what they are and how the schedule works out. And I don't know if I want to do a schedule of specific sims on specific days. So let's say Monday is Farm Sim 2017 and ETS2. Tuesday is Project Cars and Train Sim World. Wednesday, etc., etc. Don't know. Or if I just want to record whatever. I don't want to say whatever I feel like, but yeah, I guess that's it. Whatever I want to record that day, that's what I record. I don't know. It's weird to look all around YouTube and see, all the various ways that people run their channels, and try to understand that this person is doing it this way and they have a ton of subs, and this person in one way appears to be doing it back to 90. This person appears to be doing it the same way and they have hardly any subs. But then here's somebody doing it a completely different way and they have a ton of subs. So I don't know what the formula is, or if there is one. I don't know how much of it is luck, and I also don't know how much of it is behind the scenes. Those people working very hard to publicize their channel and be active in Facebook groups and on Twitter and on Instagram and all the other things. And I don't know if I want to do that. I know I should, but I don't know if I want to. And in one way, I feel like I'm putting enough time per day into it as it is. And I don't know how much more time I can spare for things like Facebook groups. And I also know, at least from the forums that I go to, once you sort of begin engaging, I guess, good way to say it. Once you start engaging, it's almost like you're expected to be there. And I don't know if I'd want to, like right now I feel committed to putting up 1 or 2 videos per day every day. within reason. If I'm on vacation, I'm not going to be recording and posting videos, but I might record some earlier and set them up to post automatically. But I do feel a commitment to do, a certain amount of content. And I guess things like Facebook groups, I sort of feel the same way. Once you've committed to participating, you're sort of expected to continue participating. Fast pass, or we'll get in line with all the other trucks. It's getting more natural, but it's not 100% there yet. But it'll get there. Now, I think the further south we get, the longer the days are. And we can also... we're still running Grimes... Is it early spring? I know it's a spring mod. And that takes the day length down a little bit. So how about this? How about next episode, I'll go ahead and pull the weather modifier out, since we're down so close to Spain. And I want to... Ideally, we'll leave Bilbao headed east and head across to Barcelona. So that would be... It's not spring anymore. And then from there to Italy and down to the Mediterranean. It's not spring anymore. So we'll go ahead and pull that out for the next episode. I feel like I was just here. I think I was just here on my other profile. And I guess when I was just saying earlier about having specific episodes on specific days, I guess that opens another topic as well, which is we have American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. We're doing primarily Euro Truck Simulator, but we do have American Truck Sim on the channel. And I think of those as, it's sort of the same thing. It's a different look and feel, but it's the same concept, in the same way that Train Sim World, we have hook that curve. We have CSX, at the moment we have CSX, Rapid Transit, and Great Western. I'll be getting NEC, Northeast Corridor, I'll be getting that next few days. So when we do a Train Sim World episode, it could be one of 4, at the moment 3, but eventually 4 different venues, right? When we do a Truck Sim video, it could be one of 2 different venues, Europe or the United States. As it is right now with Farm Sim, we only have 1 farm that we're running. But I've thought about another farm, and I've thought about doing a farm that is completely the opposite of how I normally farm. Normally I run a British farm, and there are certain brands of equipment that I prefer. So what would it be like to do something completely the opposite? And what I came up with was, that would be a Polish farm. pigs and potatoes and sugar beets, things that I never farm. I never raise pigs, and I am not a fan of farming root crops. I am cheating out to the left a little bit here. So do something just completely the opposite, and then we would have two farms. So on Farm Sim Day, it could be one of two different farms. And I guess my question, or my reluctance to do that, is I'm worried the content is going to get kind of diluted, and that we would have episodes would be sort of too few and far between. So right now we're going from Roscoff to Bourdeaux, and it's Wednesday. We'll get this posted. Well, if we don't leave Bourdeaux for what, a week, 10 days in real life, does that work, or is that too far in between episodes for people to maintain the narrative? Same with the farm. If we're doing something on Upton Farm once a week, and then our other farm video for the week is farm in Poland, does that give a viewer enough substance to sort of follow along? Or are these all random anyway, and people just tune in and they're not really paying attention and following it like a story? They're just checking it out for an hour or so, and it doesn't need to be, right? It's like reruns or something on Netflix. And when you flip it on, you're just watching an episode. It doesn't need to be. I mean, there's certainly some things. In Billions, you probably want to watch the new season in order. Game of Thrones, you want to watch the new season in order, and not just flip on a random episode. But Game of Thrones has been on for what, like 6 years now, 7 years? If you come across an episode of Game of Thrones from an earlier season, it's not like you're going to turn it off because you don't know what's going on. You're just going to watch the people do what they do. So I'm sort of on the fence about that as well, whether I want to really focus strongly on having a narrative structure, or whether I just want to make some game videos and put them up there and call it good. And I love that I can do all this in the context of no pressure right now. Feels very relaxed, which I like. You may have noticed I'm kind of chill. Didn't used to be. I used to be, well, I was not very chill. But you live and learn. Right. I think this is all, I don't know if this is, something's going on up here. This guy holding down the fort. Hey, buddy. Right, so we come out of the toll booth and we immediately go to the right. Right, so yeah, a lot of, I have to clear my throat again. A lot of things to figure out, but in a good way. I'm digging it. And I've never done this before, so it's extra fun for me to have kind of a whole new canvas to paint on. All right. Frame rate did not like that, but we got through it. Wouldn't say we're struggling, but this truck does not, it really pulls differently than the 164 Scania. Alright, locking the cruise control, see if that's any better. Just doesn't feel nearly as torquey. Feels like it runs out of gears on the hills, even when they don't seem that steep, like right there. Although, it could be that we have a 16 speed, and if you're running a 16 speed, you're going to be shifting more often versus a 12. So maybe it's just us, and we need to be more involved. Man, I'm really looking forward to getting to Bourdeaux. I'm a big fan of that area. But bring your processor, because I remember going in there with my old system, and it was just, there were times that I got down to like 3 and 4 FPS. Just not even usable. And I could handle the rest of the map. But there were places like Bourdeaux and Basel where I just couldn't dial my settings down low enough to get both a good look on the rest of the map and a decent frame rate in those areas. I don't know if SCS has any plans to do all of Spain. I don't know where, I mean, there's not a lot of Europe left. So I feel like it would either need to be Spain or Russia, really. I mean, there's already going east. We've already gone east. If you go any further east than how far we've gone, then that's Russia. Yeah, I guess the other way would be to go down the coast toward Greece and Turkey and Israel. And just go all the way around the Mediterranean. I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of talk yet. If there are any plans, I don't know what they are yet. But I feel like the way SCS does things should be pretty good. And patch 1.31 is going to be out for ETS soon, and that will have, I imagine that will have hoses in it as well to match ATS. So when that open beta comes, we'll my instinct was to say we'll jump on that as soon as it's available, but as many mods as we have running, and you know, when a new patch comes out, it's a while till all the mods catch up. So with ProMods and all these trailers that we're running, I'm guessing those dynamic hoses are going to break all of our trailers. So it's possible that we would not jump on 131 as soon as it comes out. Maybe we'll wait a little while. Let's at least wait for ProMods, which would then be what, 2.27, 2.28? Okay. So let's make that the plan for now. For the moment, we will wait a bit. But we have 1.31 on the ATS side, so that'll give us something to play with. It's going to be a long episode. I have a feeling this is over an hour. But we'll see when we do the review. And then from here, yeah, down into Spain, across, and then Italy, and then up. Well, I guess we can finish the opposite direction. We can go up north through Eastern Europe. Back around through Scandinavia, back to Iceland, and then back down through the UK. We haven't spent a lot of time in Northern Ireland and Ireland yet, so we can try to get some cities out that way. Okay. Plenty of possibilities. This is one of my favorite things about big world sim games is you can just do whatever you want. Just a big canvas to paint on. Getting into Bourdeaux. We'll see how the delivery is set up. Typically with these long trailers, you just pull in and it's good to go. We'll see. I haven't seen one yet that's undeliverable, but if we ever do get one, we can just hit the panic button, have the game deliver it. Right. Bourdeaux. I think, how'd we do? We still have a kilometer to go. Day's not over yet, but I think we did no damage, no tickets. Is that right? Always the goal. No damage, no tickets. We hooked up in first person. We'll try to drop off in first person, but we won't be backing in. We'll just be pulling through. But yeah, okay. Could be worse. I think I can see some marks on the ground over there. Thought I could. Now I can't see them. Did I see something else? Nope, that's what I saw. Okay. So how do we want to do this? The last time we tried to do this, our last dolly trailer, was it? Yeah, our last dolly trailer, I ended up hooking the lorry on a light pole. Try not to do that again. Did we miss it? Well, you wouldn't think we did. I'm feeling kind of pissy today, so let's take one more crack at it. Right. Delivered. Done. How do we do? 36 grand. Not bad. Got some points. Folks, thank you so much for stopping back to join the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Sim. We'll see you next time. Take care now.